So I'm sure you've all encountered it from one time or another. You try and watch a stream, an online stream, and you keep getting buffering. You know, stop start every few seconds, every few minutes, and it's not fun. Now there's a few reasons for this. The main problem, I suppose, is that the servers sending the content, so the host website where this is actually stored, the servers they use literally just cannot keep up with the demand. There's just too much traffic on that server and it's slowing things down. So, you know, if you imagine a motorway, a 3-lane motorway, and let's say you got 200-300 cars on it, they're all going 70 miles an hour, no problem at all. You know, you get, let's say, 10,000 cars on it, suddenly the traffic's building up, it's all come to a bit of a slower point, everyone's slowed down. So that's what's happening on the server. Sorry, that's not the greatest analogy in the world, but you hopefully get the drift there. And so that's the main problem, and there's unfortunately not a great deal you can do about that. And obviously if you're trying to watch HD content, if it's true HD compared to SD, that file can be 20 times bigger. So you know, that's a big difference. Obviously you're trying to stream something HD 20 times as big, so yeah, obviously it's going to be a big problem. So yeah, if you can't get HD to work, you might have to resort back to SD. But other problems include your download speed. It might be that your download speed just isn't good enough. So if you go to speedtest.net, that will give you a good indication of what speed you're currently getting. And really, as a guide, you want, well, you can just about get away with about 2.5 megabits a second for sort of SD content. Okay, you can just about get away with that usually. And for HD content, if it's like an HD live stream, they're not usually in full HD, so you can usually get away with sort of 4 or 5 megabits per second to stream them successfully. And then if you're streaming you know, a proper full HD movie, for example, you're going to need considerably more. So so that's it really. And also I suppose it's worth mentioning that the routers that internet service providers provide free of charge are generally pretty useless, and they do require frequent reboots. So it's worth trying that every now and again. Just take the power plug out, give it 30 seconds, and pop it back in. Give it a minute to load everything up, and try again. And that may well fix your error. You might find that you'll suddenly getting much better download speeds. However, if you know all those things are fine, and you're still getting buffering, we do have a kind of a fix. Okay, so what you need to do is create an advanced settings XML file. Now luckily for you guys, I've created one of those, and you can install it directly from within XBMC. So go over to your file manager, and we need to add a source, and you need to type in http whufclee.myftp.org. okay, and we just call that whufclee. So you may already have this if you've already done the NaviX fix and a couple of other bits I've got on there, but if not, just add that. And if you click on there, we've got tweaks, and in there it says advanced settings, copy XML to your profile directory. So click on that folder, and we've only got one advanced settings in there at the moment. I may do more, and it's cache to hard drive. So click on that and you can see an advanced setting. So all we need to do is copy that over to the profile directory. So go over to the right hand side, click on profile directory, and you can see here we don't currently have an advanced settings. By default, XBMC doesn't have one. It's up to you to add one. You can add lots and lots of different settings in there, advanced settings, hence the name. So if you do have one, already, you might not want to copy this over because you may have settings in there that you just want to add the contents of this to those settings. So we'll go into that in a second. But for those of you that don't have an advanced setting, just copy it over. So bring up the context menu and click on copy. Yes. And there we go. We've got it over there. Now what this feature will do, it will, and by the way, it works on every platform, including the old Xbox, but works brilliant on the Xbox, by the way. And what it will do, it will cache all of the movie, the video, whatever it might be, TV show, movie, whatever it is. It will cache it all to the hard drive. So by default, when you're streaming a movie, it downloads it and kind of caches it to the RAM. And different devices have different amounts of RAM, so you might find that it's not actually caching that much. It might just be caching like a couple of minutes worth or something like that. So it's it might be that you're getting pausing every couple of minutes because it's only cached 2 minutes worth, and it's not catching up. It's not downloading fast enough. It's not downloading as fast as you can watch it. So what this will do, it will cache to your hard drive. So depending on how big your hard drive is, it can cache up to the size of your hard drive. So it might be that you've got a big massive hard drive of 100 gigabytes or more. So you can keep caching, and you could cache that whole movie. If you've got a very small hard drive on your device, then it's probably not worth using this. You might gain a bit, but if you've got a very, very small hard drive on there, and you're virtually out of space, you're going to be better to use the standard settings. However, what will happen once it's basically cached to your hard drive, so let's say you're watching something and it starts buffering, if you press pause, that will continue to keep downloading and kind of storing that file, caching it onto your hard drive. So if you pause it for, let's say, 5 minutes, you might find that's depending on how quickly it's downloaded, you might find it's downloaded the whole movie, in which case you can pause, unpause anytime you want, and you won't get any buffering at all. It may be that it takes 20 minutes, 30 minutes to download the whole movie. It really does depend on the server and your download speed, but at least with this method, at very worst, you can pause it. If it's causing a problem, just pause it, go make a cup of tea, come back 10 minutes later, and you can unpause it, and you'll find that it should play all the way through, or certainly almost all the way through, depending on your download speed and the server speed. So I hope that makes sense. As I say, it is advanced settings, so I've explained it as well as I can. And I'm just going to come out of there. And by the way, you're probably going to need to reboot your XBMC for that to take effect. Now, what I will do is I'll just show you the contents of that file. So XBMC, user data, and there's my advanced settings. So I'm going to open that. So that is all it is. So if you've already got an advanced settings, it doesn't matter if you've put one in there by accident, then don't worry about it, because like I say, by default XBMC doesn't come with an advanced settings. So unless you've put one in there, don't worry about it too much. But if you do already have settings, this is what you want to put in there. You want to put in network, and then the cache mem buffer size, set that to 0, and then close the network set in there. So 0 just means it will cache to hard drive rather than RAM, and you can set that to different numbers, the amount of RAM you want to use. Okay, so you can specify how much RAM, how much you're willing to cache into RAM.
What up YouTube, Supercharged iOS here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to clear the cache of your XBMC. Alright, I'm using Apple TV as always to run my XBMC. Apple TV 2. I'm going to launch our XBMC. We're going to go ahead and clear our cache. Now this is the latest Fraudo at the time of this video, version 12.2, as you just saw. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to find the XBMC Hub maintenance tool. And I'll tell you that if you don't have the XBMC Hub maintenance tool, clearing your cache is nearly impossible, but it is possible. You can do it with CyberDuck or a couple other programs. So it's possible to clear your cache without the XBMC Hub maintenance tool, but this is the easiest way possible, and it's pretty quick, and you don't have to use any computer, anything like that. So what you do, like I just did, you just launch the XBMC Hub maintenance tool right there. And go ahead and launch it. And when it loads up like that, you want to go down to maintenance. Select that one. And when this opens up, you can just scroll down to delete my cache. Select that one. Just wait a couple seconds, and there you go. That's it, all done. You just hit the select button again to say OK, and then you just continue to go back all the way to the beginning. Exit your XBMC, shut it down. You don't have to reboot or anything like that. You just need to shut down your XBMC and let it restart, and that'll put it into effect, clear cache, and you'll be able to fast forward and rewind and pause and do all that good stuff you love without the annoying buffering. Alright, it's Supercharged iOS. This was how to clear the cache of XBMC Fraudo. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.